This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Okay, here he is talking to a bunch of farmers in Pennsylvania.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%. They haven't started it yet. Maybe they haven't even made the final decision yet, but I think they have. John Deere is going to, and anybody else that does this, because it's hurting our farmers, it's hurting our manufacturing.
Oh my God.
And if you do that, you're going to have a 200% tariff put on the product that you make in Mexico, right across the border. They think they're going to make product cheaper in Mexico and then sell it in for the same prices they did before, make a lot of money by getting rid of our labor and our jobs, and really a great name, because John Deere's a great name. I buy a lot of John Deere, tremendous. I'm one of their big customers. I buy a lot of John Deere product as a private person. But if they're going to do that, we're going to put a 200% tariff on everything that they want to send back into the United States, which means one of two things. Our country's going to make a lot of money, or they're not going to build, they're not going to open, and or they're going to sell it to another country. They're entitled to do that. If they want to build in the country, in the United States, there's no tariff. You can go ahead and you can build in any one of the 50 states. You can go ahead. But if they don't want to do that, we're going to put a 200% tariff on John Deere. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to announce very shortly, if they think I'm going to win, or if I do win, they're going to announce that they're not going to build in Mexico.
He's such a bad man. Okay, this is insanity. Okay, this is the way to destroy a great company. This is the way that you send the message to other companies. Either you play ball by my rules, or I destroy your company. This is like what oligarchs do. John Deere has spent about $2.5 billion in America building new facilities here, and one of the products they want to make in Mexico. They're a private company, is what they are. That our government would put a tariff on an American brand like John Deere because Donald Trump doesn't approve of their business model is really sick and not. Well, it's not a free market thing. This is true oligarchy. This is a serious attempt to send a message to every other business in this country that Donald Trump will seek you out and he will hurt your business if he doesn't like you. Now, I will tell you the damage to farmers is that John Deere products, if they have to buy the product that's being made in Mexico, they're going to have a 200% markup on that purchase. That hurts them. It's not paid by anybody except whoever is buying the item, right? That's who pays the tariff. The tariff is a tax. You pay it. Also, this is crazy to do it against an American company, but when Donald Trump did it on China, put Chinese exports, things coming out of China into the United States, which is a far different scenario than what he just said, that he wants to put a 200% tariff on against an American brand, an American company. That's insanity. But when Donald Trump put a tariff on things coming out of China into the United States, of course they retaliated. It's a two-way street trade. You understand that, right? That's why it's called trade. Okay? So China decided that they were going to put a giant tariff on U.S. exports into China. And the amount of soybeans that were sold into China by our farmers plummeted by 74%. I'll just read it to you. Donald Trump has doubled down on tariffs this campaign, falsely arguing that they would help bring down prices for consumers. Okay, he boasts all the time about bringing billions of dollars in from China through his tariffs, but those billions are paid by you. They're paid by anybody that buys whatever is being imported into the United States, right? And your money then goes to the U.S. Treasury to pay those tariffs. Anyway, the top U.S. export to China, I'm reading again. The top U.S. export to China accounted for 62.5% of all U.S. exports to the country in 2017, according to data from the United States Department of Agriculture. That's where these numbers come from, okay? After the tariffs were imposed, U.S. soybean exports to China plummeted by 74%, and overall exports from the U.S. into China fell by 20% in 2018, data shows. Farmers, particularly in the Midwest, where over 80% of soybeans are grown, suffered significant financial losses. He's the one hurting the farmers. And you know what? The farmers know that. So who is he bamboozling here? Voters in Pennsylvania. Seriously. I mean, this is real sick stuff, okay? This is real crazy. By the way, somebody, I was posting on Twitter. Don't ask me why. I just was posting, that because somebody posted that video there of Donald Trump threatening an American company with 200% tariff tax put on their equipment sold into the United States if they manufacture. Even, most of our cars, a portion is manufactured in Mexico. This is why during the pandemic we had supply chains break down, right? So, we learned the hard way that a lot of the harnesses that hold the electrical, components in a car's engine, that the harnesses were made in Mexico and that you couldn't complete the electrical wiring of a car in the United States without that particular part, right? And so we learned the hard way, okay? But now he's literally threatening, tariffs on an American manufacturer. I mean, it's the sickest thing ever. But okay, so he's been telling you that the tariffs are the best thing. He was saying so somebody posted that video, and they posted in response to what I posted. Tariffs are a two-way street, and blah blah blah. And I also said, they're a tax, and you pay them, and they get to retaliate. It's and somebody put the best clip. I wish I could play movie clips, but I can't. I would have played you Ned Beatty's speech in Network by now. And I also would have played you what they responded to me with. They put up the Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what's his name? Ben Stein, when he played the teacher. And and the kids were drooling on the desk and falling asleep. And he was teaching them about, and I forgot all about this. He was teaching them, does anybody know what happened in 1929? Anybody? It was called the blank depression, the blank Great Depression. And people started to go broke. And so the government thought maybe they could raise money with, some sort of does anybody know? Anybody? A tariff. It was called the something Hawley. Anybody? Smoot-Hawley tariff. Did it raise or lower? Anybody? Raise or lower? Raised tariffs. Did it work? Anybody? Yes or no? Did it work? No, it did not. That's how long ago this argument was had, and it failed, okay? Tariffs are not a way to bring money into the U.S. Treasury. Tariffs are inflationary. Tariffs cause things to cost more. Therefore, it's inflationary. If you're trying to fight inflation, if his premise in business is that prices are too high, right? Prices are way too high right now for items. And it's not because he mismanaged COVID, and it's not because supply chains got broken, and it's not because companies are gouging. It's simply because prices are too high. All right. And if that's your business model and you think that only you can get the prices down, and your answer to getting the prices down is taxing the product, making the product more expensive, putting tariffs on the product, making it more expensive is inflationary. That is not going to bring prices down. This is why he's a stable genius, though, everybody. This is why, because he can sell that swill. He can sell that pig's ear. He can sell that crazy economics Ben Stein concludes where it goes, Bush had something called blank DOO, blank DOO economics. Anybody? Voodoo economics. Did it work? Anybody? Yes, no. Did it work? No, it didn't work. This is what Donald Trump has repackaged, and he's selling it because he thinks he's as good a salesman as Ned Beatty, as Arthur Jensen. He could sell you anything, and he's going to try to sell you him. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.